I was talking to a group of college students a few weeks ago, and in the middle of the talk, and I'm paraphrasing the conversation, of course, I said the only path to real, lasting success, and I emphasize real, is to work hard and develop the mind. There are no shortcuts. One way or another, if you stagnate the development of your mind and your spirit, you will go nowhere. And one of the girls in the crowd said in response to me, "Not if you can be a good OnlyFans model." And frankly, I was stunned, not only by the total wrongness of the statement, but more so by the brazenness. I mean, she was so sure of herself that I almost thought she was joking at first, but her face told me she was dead serious. And some of the other students were even nodding along after she said that, as if she had just dropped some piece of profound wisdom. So I was so dumbstruck that it took me a second to come back to myself and answer her. I said in response, trying not to be condescending, "You think that a woman who sells herself, turns herself into a commodity, and sacrifices her dignity for material goods is a success?" Let me put it to you like this. If I won the $200 million lottery tomorrow, would you imagine I would be happy? I'm sure I'd be excited if nothing else, right? But what if right after winning that lottery, I were to find out that, heaven forbid, my mother or even my wife had just died? Does anyone think I'd still be happy, or that I'd even care one whit about all the money I have? No, because I just lost something priceless, someone I love as much as life itself. There's a void in my heart that will remain empty. And that's the pain that every woman feels when she sells her body via pornography. Only it wasn't her mom who died. The girl will have killed herself because she sacrificed her priceless dignity for money that might be gone tomorrow. She gave up her soul, her self-respect for something material and fleeting. That is a pain that is hard to shake off. And that's not a version of success that I would wish on my worst enemy. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows." Now, money is not evil in and of itself, y'all, but many people mistakenly believe that it is worth committing acts of moral degradation to obtain. And they lose perspective on what is truly important. Now, back when I was selling cars, I could have been making $10 million a year and still have not felt like a success. Why? Because I didn't value what I was doing. Many days from my perspective, I was violating my moral conscience with the business practices that my employers forced on me under threat of termination. What they wanted me to do was to treat my customers and clients in a way that I would never treat my brother or my mother. In fact, if I had ever seen anyone I had worked with at the time treating my mother the way that they treated their other customers, it would have been on. Heads would have rolled. Needless to say, I couldn't stay at that job, okay? I was never going to be a success doing that, being that sort of person. Okay, I don't care how rich you become. If you can't respect yourself, you are not a success. If you come by your wealth dishonestly, or through dishonest practices, you are not a success. If you sacrifice your soul for material wealth, you have sacrificed way too much for way too little. Everything for nothing. Matthew 6:33 says, "Put first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all other things shall be added unto you." Far greater and far more admirable is the man who gains little material wealth, but can say he remained faithful and trustworthy, than is he who denied God and gains wealth that will mean nothing at the end of his life. Or as the book of Proverbs puts it, "Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways." And nobody believes that Judas Iscariot made a good trade when he betrayed Jesus for a bag of silver. Now, there is no shame at all in coming by wealth honestly. Far from it, in fact. We need more people in the world who have both wealth and character. If you are willing to be both, I say go for it. Okay, I'm rooting for you to succeed, and I am betting you will, but what I said at the top still applies, and I'll say it again. The only path to real, lasting success is to work hard and develop the mind. There are no shortcuts. One way or another, if you stagnate the development of your mind and your spirit, you will go nowhere. Now, notice how I emphasize your spiritual life. That is never to be neglected. Keep perspective and remember that it is not all about you. Again, if you gain all there is to gain in the world, but you have not God, you have nothing at all. 1 Timothy 6:17, command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant or to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Now, I have faith in you. You can be monumentally successful if you are willing to put in the work. If you are also willing to give all of your heart, soul, and mind to the task, walking with God all the way. Then you can have real success that lasts and means something in the end. And of course, like a broken record, don't just think of success as something that comes with a dollar sign. The disciples and the Apostle Paul all died dirt poor, but you can bet that God said to each of them, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Many rich people will never hear that, but put first the kingdom of God and you will. And those words from God will make every other height you've ever reached seem minuscule. Pursue your purpose, whatever it is. Give it your all. Go with God.